Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 2 of the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. All right, first question. You mentioned once that not all of your clients are on conjugate. What makes you decide to not run conjugate with a client? Well, usually it's because they're a new client. Okay, number one at the top of the list. If they are a new client who has never run conjugate before, and I want to make that clear, they have not run conjugate, I don't put them on conjugate immediately. Right? We don't put them on conjugate immediately. If they are currently running conjugate, or they have previously used a conjugate template, and they have not detrained or gotten out of shape, like they're not someone who's taken 3 months off from lifting and they're starting back up, I'll put them right into conjugate immediately. So my goal is to get all my lifters on conjugate. I've only had a couple of clients who I realized would never be able to run conjugate. And let me make this clear. If someone applies, send in an application, and I think that there is no way that person's going to be able to run conjugate, I don't need them as a client. My goal is to get all of my clients on conjugate eventually. Some of them start at week 1. Some of them we start at week 6. Some of them we wait 3 or 4 months. But as a general rule, I try to get any new client on conjugate within 12 weeks. So let's come back over and say, well, who falls into that? In other words, who falls into that 12 weeks instead of week 1, right? Because that's the other extreme. Well, if I don't think that they're ready to max out, their technique isn't good enough to max out, right? Their form, they don't know how to lift very well yet. They don't know how to bench press correctly. They can't box squat correctly. They have not built up their low back with good mornings and other exercises. Okay? They haven't built a strong core. That's my actual determining factors. It's lack of experience, of lack of basic proficiency with the exercises. Now, if you were to give me someone, if I were to be coaching them in person, and I'm not really overly interested in taking on clients in person right now, a brand new lifter, I could probably put them on conjugate within a month. I would teach them basics, get them flowing linearly, perfect their squat, bench, and deadlift, throw them into conjugate a month later. Online, it can take a little more to build certain things up. I've got to get their attitude right. I've got to get them proficient in their movements. I need them to get a little bit of experience under the barbell. Okay. But I put novices on conjugate. I want to make that clear. And if I have someone who I'm like, this person will never be able to run conjugate, they can go find a different coach. I'm not interested. And all my conjugate lifters get results. You guys have seen enough of them. I've shown plenty. And there'll be plenty more in the future. All right, next question. Hey Jason, how do you coach your drug-free clients when taking into account high stress levels of lack of sleep due to outside interference, aka life? Do you simply lower their volume when accounting for these things, or does training stay relatively the same as when the stress levels and sleep are optimal? Thanks in advance. Oh, no, we absolutely reduce volume. That is one of the first things that we do. If I have a client who, again, doesn't have gear, and the other question we come over to, is it really even ideal to blast a bunch of gear? Should you really be upping the dose to handle recovery due to your lack of sleep? No. What we do is we work on stress management. We discuss strategies for improving their sleep. We discuss strategies for dealing with the stress. And again, I'm not going to cover all of that on my channel. That's individual coaching stuff. Again, part of how I make my living, because I do have clients who have very, very busy lives. I do have clients who are business owners. I do have clients who are in upper management at companies. Again, I'm not cheap. I charge a decent amount of money for coaching. So again, financially successful people who don't have the knowledge base to coach themselves, they hire someone else to do it. Okay, so a lot of those people, we discuss stress management. We discuss handling these things the best that we can. We discuss if they need to outsource certain aspects to that. Do they need to outsource certain types of therapists and things dealing with maybe stress eating related to it? I have friends who I'm willing to refer them over to for those things. But as far as the volume goes, yes, we reduce volume. We absolutely reduce volume. We consider deloads. Okay? If I have someone who has an extremely stressful week, such as workload just doubled at work, maybe they fired a manager, or a manager went on maternity leave and they have to pick up their workload who's under them normally. We might deload for a week and then we cut supplemental volume down to the bare minimums. We figure out what the minimum they can handle is. We start trimming it down. We figure out what's the minimum that will give them any progress. And we stick with that until they get it back under control. We take max effort work down to training maxes. The rule of you do not miss a lift. Do not, absolutely do not attempt a heavy single that you have any doubt in your mind that you can make with low psychological arousal. Right? We can't go, well, I'll just psych myself up and know I'm going to get, no, we turn all that off. Those are the strategies that we use to handle these situations. And we keep them on conjugate with maxes and everything. Right? And it works. We get them through that situation. We get them through that little spell, get them over the hump, and then we get them back to progressing again once things smooth back out. Right? That's how we do it. All right, next question and last question of the week. Do you think you will ever return back to a public gym? I appreciate that you have a busy lifestyle, but doesn't it get lonely training like you do? And do you miss the social side of training? Loneliness has nothing to do with my training. I have other things that I do to deal with that. My training is alone. I'm not alone. So, but my private life isn't part of the internet. Now, that being said, the funny thing is, like anyone who has met me at gyms, a lot of you have. I have regular followers. I have people who ask questions in the Q&As who have met me in person and have admitted, yeah, they've met me at gyms. They bumped into me at gyms. Or they even collabed with me at one time or another years ago and, met me at a gym. I'm actually a social butterfly at the gym. If anything, the gym interferes sometimes with my ability to train. I'm too social. I am way more focused and get better results at home. I really do. I'm better off for it. But as far as the rest of it goes, there's no benefit. I mean, outside of just being able to hang around some other lifters, there is only negatives to me going to a gym. I've got to travel. The equipment will be inferior. Look at what I have for a home gym. Guys, I have 13 barbells. I have almost every specialty bar, even 2 different deadlift bars. A reverse hyper, bands, chains, glute ham raise. Right? My dumbbells even go heavier. Let me state that again. A lot of gyms out there don't even have dumbbells that go as heavy as what my home dumbbell adjustable ones go to. I literally would have inferior training stimulus at anything but the most hardcore strength gyms. So no, I have no interest in it. I have no need. It would actually just take large amounts of time away from me that I could do more productive stuff to travel. And there's no benefit. And for people who pull the silliness of other stuff, well, anyone who's met me at gyms can tell you I'm pretty outgoing. I generally like people. I get along with people for the most part. So I actually do pretty well in that environment. But again, it's a time sink because I'll stand there and chit chat for an hour and forget to work out. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem for me. At home, I can be focused and I can get work done in between sets and exercises, actually get client work and stuff done. Make money. Way better. There's zero need. Again, if you had a home gym like I did, you wouldn't be going to other gyms anyways, probably. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.